What is up, Bucks Nation? Welcome back to another one of my videos. Horrible 27-24 loss to the Los Angeles Rams, a game that we should have won, a game that we should have pulled off, and a game that we shouldn't have let slip away. Before I get into my reaction to the video, if you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. As always, I am Rami B, and as you can see, second straight week I got my Brady jersey, and that's what I'm rocking. So if you see me looking over to the side of the screen, I am looking at some stats to make sure I'm accurate in my information. And yeah, so it was a 27-24 loss that has now left us at a 7-4 record. I believe now we are a game behind the Rams when it comes to the wild card. So we are the 6th seed, the second wild card spot. I don't know who that puts us up against in terms of playoff seeding right now. But yeah, this isn't a place we want to be. 5th seed would probably be the best since we would face an NFC East team. But it is what it is. So for the game, the Bucks had a total offense, total yards, 251 total yards as a team. Brady was 26 of 48 for 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Arguably one of Brady's worst games. Second probably behind that Saints game a few weeks ago on Sunday Night Football. I think we had on offense 4.7 yards per play, which is like horrendous. It's like the worst we've had all season, even worse than against the Saints a few weeks ago. Brady didn't look sharp at all. I know the Rams have the best defense in the NFC, but he didn't look sharp at all. The first pick was horrible. Looked like he was misthrowing it. The second pick as well at the end of the game. We had enough time. He wasn't pressured. He didn't have to make that throw. He didn't have to get such, chunk yardage in that situation. But he did go for it, and that pretty much cost us the game. But Brady, they were saying the last 3 games, I think including today, in deep balls over 20 yards, Brady's 1 for 17 with like 2 picks or 3 picks, which is telling me that I don't think it's scheming as much. I think it's also the accuracy of his balls as well. He's throwing balls that aren't, he's misfiring. Last week there was a couple deep balls, Evans and AB, that would have been for sure touchdowns. He misfired. Today there was a deep ball to AB that was good. It hit AB's like hands, but he dropped it. I believe it was in the third quarter as well, but it seems like we need to start getting away from those deep balls. I don't know if it's Brady's arms being tired or, he's getting older and the age is starting to show a little bit, because at the beginning of the season he was hitting them. So I don't know what's wrong there. In terms of the running game, non-existent. Rojo was 10 for 24. Fournette 7 for 17 and 1 touchdown. It seems like we abandoned the run. It looks like 17 rushing attempts there, not that good. I don't know why we're not using Keyshawn Vaughn more. He seemed earlier in the season when he did get a couple snaps, he seemed like there was some promise there. So I don't know why we didn't switch it up with him, but we did abandon the run even though we didn't necessarily need to, because we were never down, in a big deficit. In terms of receiving, AB had 8 catches for 57 yards. Godwin 7 for 53 and 1 touchdown. Great touchdown. He was wide open and he kind of muscled his way and jumped in, dove towards the end zone, which is impressive just considering he has like 2 or 3 fingers taped up. Evans was 5 for 49 with 1 touchdown, and that was a touchdown that was beautiful. He was not going to let them stop him. Got the ball, got hit immediately, muscled through 2 or 3 defenders and used his size and his length and just kind of made sure he got that touchdown. Beautiful play. I heard on Twitter, I was reading that the crowd like erupted at the stadium and things like that, so that's great. But that's pretty much for the offense. A very mediocre day on offense compared to last week. Not that impressive at all, especially the home game. But luckily now all our primetime games are done, so since that's what we always struggle with, maybe that's good moving forward. On defense, the Rams had a total of 413 yards of offense. Goff was 39 for 51 for 376, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. The first pick was by JPP, where it was like, I guess it looked like a screenplay, and he just threw it right to JPP, who caught it. And the second one was in the fourth quarter. They were killing us in the zone all game, and Jordan Whitehead just read the ball and just came in like a cannon and picked it off. So wonderful picks in those situations. We turned them into 10 points. The first one we should have turned into a touchdown, but only ended up being a field goal. Malcolm Brown in the run game, 3 rushes for 20 yards, and Cam Akers 5 for 15. No other rusher had over 5 yards on the Rams, so we pretty much held the run game in check completely, but not like it mattered, because they were shredding us through the air. In terms of receiving, Cooper Kupp had 11 catches for 145, and Robert Woods had 12 for 130 and 1 touchdown. Again, similar to the Saints game, it seemed like our defensive philosophy was to play a lot of zone and to not pressure as much. Well, we were pressuring, but he was killing us because the zones were wide open, and then playing off coverage as well compared to our strength, which is press coverage during those games. So I don't know what Todd Bowles is coming up with in terms of game plans, but it seems like he's seeing that these zones for some reason will work or should work, but apparently they're not working at all. Got away completely from our strengths on defense, and I think if we want to make a push for the playoffs. And in the playoffs, we will have to go back to our roots, which is press man coverage, put pressure, and if they're going to beat us, let them beat us off over the top. The pass rush didn't even exist really today. There was a couple times we got pressure, but Goff was throwing the ball immediately. Like I said, the zone, the middle of the field was wide open, and it seemed like every single play, the receiver, whether it was a tight end or a wide receiver, was just sitting in the zone in the middle of the field and catching it. But yeah, there's not much more to say. Overall, a horrible performance on both sides. The defense did tighten up in the second half, but the offense was a non-existent. I don't know what's going on. We have so many weapons, but for some reason we can't muster consistency on the offensive side. Not a good look. 7-4 now is not looking that good. Obviously, we should be happy because it's in a better position we've been in a really, really long time. But at the same time, it's like these are the Bucs we know, and we need to be in a better position now. We're a 6th seed. The NFC seems to be very stacked, and there's a lot of teams in that wild card range. So like every game really matters at this point, and we're losing NFC games. And now I'm worried because next week the Chiefs are coming, and if we're playing these zone coverages and not blitzing, or playing these zone coverages and blitzing, Mahomes is going to shred us. He's a quarterback that you can't give time to. You're going to have to play press and jam him up at the line and disrupt the timing, especially with Tyreek Hill there, who can get past anybody. It's going to be a rough day. Do I think we're going to lose 100%? No. Do I think we can win? Yes. Just like the Green Bay game, if we come out physical and play the same type of defensive, if we have the same type of defensive game plan, I think that's a game that'll be a lot closer than we think. But we need the offense to really carry their role. We need the offense to move the ball. We need to keep running the ball, even though it's not necessarily, we abandoned it too early. So we need to run it and make sure that we are able to capitalize off of that. But yeah, Bucs Nation, thank you for tuning in. This is a little bit shorter. I have to get off and pack. I'm going to Mexico tomorrow for a honeymoon. And yeah, I wanted to make this really quick. Next week there will be a video as well. I will be in Mexico, so I won't be able to catch the whole game, but I will try to catch the highlights and make a very abbreviated reaction video, a few minutes long, just to kind of give my thoughts based on what I see and read. So yeah, thank you for tuning in as always. If you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. And as always, I am out.
Our offense tough, our defense rough. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucs, go Bucs.